Okay, so recently The Office has been getting a lot of traction because there is this job posting that says all you have to do is watch The Office for 15 hours and write down all the small details from every single episode. I'm an Office connoisseur. I was there at the beginning. I was there at the end. I was a Thursday night regular. I cycled my entire schedule around knowing that I needed to be home by Thursday night because I had plans. There was an episode on. So I don't take lightly to the posers and wherewithals that come after the fact that are like, as soon as they release The Office all on the Netflix, I watched it all the way through and I'm like, you just showed up to a party I've been in since junior year of high school. Congratulations. I don't know. I've been here for a while, but I'm glad that once there is a streaming platform at your disposal, you finally decided to jump on board. I digress. I love The Office. I love everything about it. Great show. Got me through high school. I can pinpoint where I was during certain seasons, during certain episodes, what was going on in my life. The show has been with me for a very long time. The more I think about The Office, though, there's one episode that it just rubs me the wrong way. The emotions and the feelings that go into the episode, it's hard to put into words, but I'm going to try in this video. The episode in question is Scotts Tots. Season 6, episode 12. This is the episode when Michael Scott promises free college tuition for a 3rd grade class if they graduate high school. Sounds like a good deal. I'm on board. Graduate high school, free tuition. Thank you. Appreciate that. Awesome gesture from Michael Scott. As the episode goes on, we find out that Michael Scott is nowhere near a millionaire, nowhere near a Michael Scott Foundation who can afford to send 15 young minds to school. And it's not shocking at all because you know Michael Scott and you know who he is as a person. So the fact that he made this kind of promise it's not shocking, and it's also not shocking that he can't back it up either. My hot take is that the 3rd graders should not have banked on this whatsoever. As the episode progresses, you start to see that Michael Scott has been praised as this philanderer and guardian angel of these children who gave them a spark of hope in 3rd grade that said, if you make it through this, I will pay for your college tuition. Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do to make our dreams come true? Hey, Mr. Scott, what you gonna do? What you gonna do to make our dreams come true? It's catchy and it's great, and he starts to feel guilty and he knows what he did was wrong. But the people that I'm most mad at are the 3rd graders. If I was a parent, if I were a teacher, I would tell these young minds, this is very cool. You will have free college tuition if you make it through high school. Just stay on the straight and narrow and you'll be okay. But have a backup plan. Why are these youth so focused that Michael Scott will take care of them if they make it through high school? Have some options at the ready. I would tell these 9-year-olds or 8-year-olds, like, this world doesn't owe you shit. And if there is an archangel out there that is able to benefit you in the future, that's cool. But also, what if that person wasn't there? What if you had to do everything yourself? Like the majority of people. Maybe it's my upbringing, maybe it's what I've lived through and what I've gone through, but I don't trust too many people. Actions speak louder than words and all these other things. Like, I know it because I've lived it, and it's just like, you're in 3rd grade and you thought that if you made it through high school, you were going to be taken care of because some guy said so. What if that guy got into a car accident? What were your other options if college wasn't in the picture? Like, if you were focused on college as being like, I just need to make it this far and then I'm all set to go, like, you put all your eggs in one basket, nobody does that. And I would have even told those 3rd graders, hey, make sure you have options when you graduate high school. I would have given to straight. Forget those kids. Come on now. I'm going to tell you the truth. The world is not fair. You are not entitled to anything. And Michael Scott, above all people, does not owe you anything. And if this guy can back up on his promise, awesome. But you need to prepare for if he cannot back up on his promise. which he did not at all, like nowhere near it. Yes, it is a faux pas on Michael Scott's part that he made this egregious promise. The best quote from the whole episode is, "I've made some empty promises in my life, but that was by far the most generous." That's the quote that sums up the entire episode. And yes, it is a pessimistic way of, I'm an eternal optimist, honestly. I'm like, well, one foot in front of the other, this could have been worse. How are we going to fix this problem? Let's go, move forward. So I always believe that there is going to be a silver lining, or something is going to go right. But in being an optimist, I'm also a realist. If these kids are promised free college, cool, but what if it doesn't work out? You just need to have backup plans, is what I'm getting at. You need to put eggs in diverse baskets. That's why you diversify your assets, because if you play the stock market or whatever, you're not always going on one stock and you're like, this is the one that's going to hit it big. I just know it. No, you put your eggs in a couple different baskets and you're like, if one or two of these does well, I am in good shape. But for these third graders to be duped into thinking that they were going to be entitled or given a free ride to college just because they graduated high school because somebody promised it to them, I get it. But also, like, that is not the way the world works. Even Disney movies, like, they promise, no matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. The dream that you wish will come true with extremely hard work. So there's a couple different factors in play. Michael Scott should not have made that promise. But the kids should not have been so naive in being in third grade to be like, this is all going to work out for me and all I have to do is make it through high school. Like, they put their faith in one person. They let one person dictate their work ethic. They let one person dictate their fire inside, when those things should have been dictated by themselves. They're going to graduate high school because Michael Scott promised them something. They stayed out of the gangs and the street life because Michael Scott promised them something. But at the end of the day, they should have stayed out of those things because it was ethically the right thing to do, not because somebody gave them a promise, empty promise or not. You need to have that internal fire within yourself. And the parts of the episode when the kid's like, you owe this to us. The world doesn't owe you shit. Yes, this was a nice gesture that might have been awesome if it panned out, but you gotta wake up and you gotta go get it yourself. There's always circumstances in life that are gonna like backtrack you and knock you off to the side and trying to run you off course, but it's one foot in front of the other of what you can overcome and how many hits you can take and keep going and keep moving forward. That makes you like a strong person, that makes you resilient to whatever life throws at you. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around, where I'm like, you stayed up all night studying because this person said that they would pay for your college. You gave up friendships because this person said that if you make it through high school, I'm going to pay for your college. So you sacrificed a lot, sure, but you should sacrifice those things in your own right. And it's, to add insult to injury, Michael Scott kept showing up at like 8th grade graduations and continue to perpetuate this lie that he was going to be able to pay for their college. And that's what adds to the humor part of it. But it's still one of those things about, make sure you have your options open. Make sure you have irons in the fire. What are you doing? What if this one thing that you saved up everything for didn't pan out? This was it? This was owed to you? You were entitled to this because you graduated with the rest of your class? No. Like, you gotta wake up and go get it. You gotta be on your grind. Nobody else is gonna do that for you. Third graders or not, you are not entitled. The odds of becoming a human being are 1 in 400 trillion. 1 in 400 trillion just to be born. The odds of being born in the United States, larger odds than that. If you're given the opportunity to be a human, the world doesn't owe you anything. And in kind, you don't owe anything in the world, but the world is pretty bad. So if you can sprinkle some joy or you can sprinkle some kindness along the way, kudos to you, because that's what the world needs. But you are not entitled to anything. You already won the lottery, 400 trillion to 1. You're already here. That's half the battle right there. Now, the way to be successful is, what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to go? The fire and the work ethic within yourself, what are you going to accomplish? I would have told that to those third graders. Instead of thinking that if you make it through high school, it's going to be handed to you on a platter. But it's also, I mean, I feel like there's a burden of responsibility on the parents, on the teachers, of us like, okay, we have to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. What if this doesn't come through? What else have we got? Do we have scholarships? Do we have financial aid? Are you wanting to even go to college? Do we want to go to a trade school? Are there good jobs out there? What do we want to get invested in? If this doesn't work out, what else are you working on? And if you're like, this was it, and it's like, well, you just played yourself. Because if this was it, even if it is to just kids, and it's like, you have to raise strong individuals for the future. And if you raise strong individuals for the future that say, hey, if you work hard and you graduate high school like everyone else, this is going to be given to you, then it's like, it almost makes this person lazy. It almost makes it loses an edge. Like, I don't want to be handed everything. Everything I have, I've worked for. So it's just one of those things that I'm just like, Scotts Tots got played, but they also played themselves, because in my realistic, kind of semi-pessimistic way, I'm just like, you didn't see that coming? You didn't prepare for... There's no contingency plan for this? I get it that you were in third grade, but you have to prepare. You have to be prepared. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, but it is devastating to have some promises broken, especially by a regional manager that didn't always quite get it. But I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Am I blowing this way out of proportion? Is it just a television show? You tell me. The world doesn't owe you shit.